Did you know that the last king of Israel before Jesus was a wannabe god? His name was Herod the Great. Herod came to power in 37 BC. That's before Jesus was born. And he was installed by Rome as a client king over Judea. Now, Herod wasn't even Jewish. He was Idumean, Edomite by lineage. But he secured his throne with both political cunning and Roman backing. And he ruled like a god over his people, ambitious, feared, and in control. In fact, when news of Jesus' birth reached him, he was so paranoid that he ordered the massacre of all the infants in Bethlehem. Yeah, that's the real reason for the season. Not a nice guy, right? But despite his cruelty, Herod is remembered as one of the greatest builders of the ancient world. His greatest project was the refurbishment of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. After the Jews returned from exile in Babylon, they rebuilt the temple, but it was a shadow of its former self. So Herod came in and turned it into a dazzling complex of marble courts, massive retaining walls, including today's Western Wall, and gleaming white stones that could be seen for miles. In fact, Josephus tells us how it dazzled travelers approaching the city. It looked like a huge snowdrift reflecting the sun. For the Jewish people, it became the religious heart of their faith, a place where Jesus would later teach, drive out the money changers, and declare it a house of prayer for all nations. But Herod's reign wasn't peaceful. Heavy taxation, forced loyalty to Rome, and his cruel elimination of rivals, including family members, fueled resentment against him. Also, while the temple was a wonder, it was defiled by the spiritual corruption of the priesthood and the oppressive rule of Rome. Many Jews longed for a true Messiah king who would bring justice, freedom, and righteousness. And by the time of Herod's death in 4 BC, Judea was ripe for change. Jesus, the Messiah, was born into a world of religious hypocrisy and political oppression. The magnificent temple stood as a symbol of both hope and hypocrisy, grand on the outside, but lacking the true presence of God. Herod built kingdoms of stone, but Christ came to build a kingdom of hearts. Herod's temple eventually fell in AD 70, but the kingdom Jesus inaugurated that very day in the manger will endure forever. The contrast reminds us that worldly glory fades, but God's promises stand eternal.